All right, hello everybody. This is my first time doing a YouTube video in a while, and I thought that this would be a good time to start back up my schedule, which is going over the developer update that the developers at Dead by Daylight dropped today. I'm a little bit late. Well, I'm only later than like the main streamers, but I thought I would go ahead and give my take on it since I have delved into this quite a bit using well, I've done like a whole document on stuff that's wrong, stuff that needs fixing and stuff. I just thought I would go over it, give my thoughts, and maybe compare to some of the things that I have suggested and what they have done. Um, so first things first, they have done a video on it. I won't look at the video because they show a couple of things, but most of it's just them reading what's already posted here. So first things first, the clown, who has needed a update for quite a long time. So kicking things off, the clown is receiving some changes in the upcoming mid-chapter. Our resident funny man has been cooking something up, introducing the afterpiece Antidote. This new throwable shatters and releases a delayed yellow gas. Once the gas activates, anyone who steps in the gas receives a 10% movement speed. Like your tonic, this effect lingers for a few seconds after leaving the gas. You can swap between tonics and antidotes by tapping the active ability button at any time. Antidote isn't just a name. They will also cure any negative effects from the afterpiece tonic, so you want to be careful where you throw them. They may make you faster, but a poorly thrown bottle can make the survivor faster as well. Or you may want to lure a survivor to an area with no pallets remaining with a juicy antidote. But remember, if the two gases collide, they will neutralize each other and disappear. We recognize that every second counts. Bottle reload time has been reduced from 5 to 3 seconds, which is amazing, and you don't need to reload tonics or antidotes separately. Last but not least, they've done a pass in the clown's add-on, which we don't see any of those, but I will take a look at those whenever the PTB comes out, probably Tuesday, which is what the King and others are saying. Let me see if I can. This is probably the only part of the video I'll actually show, because I do know that they showed a couple of things with the clown and his afterpiece tonic. If I can find it. They probably would have done it at the beginning, wouldn't they?
Essentially, what we've done is we've broken each of our pieces of our UI, which we refer to as widgets.
Okay, I don't know if they describe it, but so first thoughts, and I have seen a couple of videos on this from the King, Space Coconut, and Scott Junn. Scott Junn's the big one. So all of them have had different opinions on it. I do not like the afterpiece Antidote. I don't know how they're expecting people to use that as clown, other than throwing it at their feet so the clown gets a speed buff, which I guess is good, but I just see it as kind of unnecessary. I would say just keep the gas bottles. I don't see the point of the antidote. It's just I don't see a reason for it. I'm actually taking notes here because I want to give this update, like, I guess, a grade at the end of it. So the afterpiece antidote, I guess whatever. I mean, you can make yourself faster, but I mean, you could just make the survivor slower. But I guess you could do one with yourself, do one in the survivor, and you get the 20% speed buff. In a sense, the bottles, the reload time, that is a massive buff and a much welcome one, very needed one too. And we don't see anything with the add-ons yet, but a couple of them, probably half of them, have been needed to be reworked for a while. So I actually want to go ahead and compare that to what I had put for the clown, which I actually don't remember because it's been a while. Start with 5 bottles by default instead of 4, and some of these have come from Outstarva in the community. They've not done that. They reduce the clown's grunt noise when he vaults. I mean, that's neither here nor there. They didn't do this either, but that one's kind of weird to begin with. Reloading takes a 5. Okay, yeah, this one was basically you have 5 bottles. For every second you reload, you gain 1 bottle back. Reducing the total time down to 3 seconds is just as good. The movement speed. Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's still a buff, a very much needed one overall. So it's fine. For that, out of 100, I'd probably give like a 89% or something. I do want to see the add-ons. The add-ons are probably good, but they could have done more, and I don't see the point of the afterpiece tonic. Another one with some mixed things. They've changed. I'm not gonna read all this because it's kind of stupid. They've changed the UI. So with the killer, they put this up here, which I don't like. They could have kept it right there with no problem. That hasn't changed. They've added which button to click for your power. Survivors with the portraits, amazing, much needed. And a hook counter, which for the killer, the number of hooks will be here and not here, but with well, let me make sure. Okay, so yeah, for the survivors, the hook progress will be here for which survivor's been hooked how many times. So first things first. I mean, I like the only thing I don't like is how they put the generators up here. I feel like I'm having to look too many places at once. This would have just been fine down here. This probably would have even been fine down here too. But I'm fine if it takes up like that kind of half of the screen. But I'm having to look to the left, to the right, up here, over here. I would just like for them to take this and put it down here. With the survivors, just same thing. Take this, put it down here. Everything else is fine. So overall, I'd probably give that about an 85. I mean, these aren't completely made up numbers, but I mean, it wasn't necessarily needed. I do like the additions here with the hook counter and the portraits and stuff, but I want them to put this back down here. I don't like how it's too much spread out. Okay. Oh yeah, they also added scaling, so you can make the UI smaller or larger depending on what you need. So I'll actually bring that up to. I dropped my phone. I'll actually bring that up to an 89%. Same with the clown. A lot of good things. Some of it unnecessary. One thing I don't like. Okay. Oh yeah, this is what I'm going to show. They've basically edited a lot of the animations, and I feel like it's going to take away from the meme in a bit, but it is very much a good update. Very, very good part of this update. Looks a lot more realistic, a lot more fluid. But again, whenever you drop the flashlight, it looks a lot more realistic. You're not gonna snap that glitch you do with the flashlight, where you're just kind of like turning and clicking the flashlight. Crawling looks a whole lot better. Falling too as well, and from the survivor's point of view, right after this, you'll see how they can. Oh yeah, well before that, the animation of you getting up is not just you snapping up. It actually looks decent. I do like the realism factor that they've added. And the camera pans down whenever you get hit as a survivor. So that's very much welcome. For the animations, I would just give that 100%. I mean, takes a little bit away from the memeing, like spam crouch. Well, I don't even think spam crouching would be affected that much. But I mean, overall, I like it. I feel like that's probably the best part of this update. I need to look back over the perks that they take a look at, but anyway, let's move on to the controversial one, which is matchmaking, rating, and rank rewards. So we know how massive of a failure this was when it first released, because there would be 4 of these guys against 1 of these guys, or 4 of these guys against 1 of these guys, and it never got better. I mean, it was so awful. You could play like 100 matches and you'll still be put with whoever the game decides you're going to be with, which it was just basically rolling a dice. So I don't see them actually implementing this correctly, but I don't know. I have a little bit of hope. But they don't even tell us how it works either. But let's move on to the rewards though. Blood points, I would have liked at least some shards for maybe the red ranks or something. Because I mean, like that, I could get more than that in one game. I could also achieve that in one game if I did really well. With barbecue and chili, I can get that in 2, that in maybe 3. I mean, like these blood points, and especially a lot of the higher rank people that don't need blood points that much. I mean, blood points are pretty easy to come by, especially if you got barbecue with chili or will make it or pudding, cake, streamers. I mean, I would have liked some shards. I don't expect them to give out Oryx cells, but a few shards would have been nice. Or heck, even like double that amount of blood points so that it's like ridiculous. And you get this reward for each side. So if you're rank 1 in Survivor and Killer, you get 250,000 for Survivor, 250,000 for Killer. And you'll be reset to rank 20 every single time, which I don't like that either, because as soon as the wipe happens, I mean, yeah, if the MMR system works after a few games or 10 or whatever, you'll be with people that you need to, but I just see a lot of games where rank 1s are going up against rank 20s, but everyone's at rank 20, so. What did I even put for matchmaking? Yeah, basically. We're working on this, maybe, who knows? I mean, I don't have anything to fix that. I don't even have a clue. Because MMR is not the best way to do it in DBD, but I don't know what is. And so we got the graphics update, which this is concept art, so take it with a grain of salt. There's not going to be any palettes. It's going to look a little better than it will in the game, but I mean, it looks fantastic. We got Crotus Pen Asylum here. There's the vault, the little room. The game is updated a lot. It looks a lot better, and it's a lot brighter, which is probably a little worse for Trapper, but oh well. I mean, oh yeah, for the MMR, I'm gonna rank that at about a 70, assuming it actually works. Graphics update. I mean, the game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, these are 2 decent maps to fix the graphics on. I don't know exactly how they're gonna change, so I'm just not even gonna do anything with that. Anyway, moving on to the miscellaneous, which a lot of this is some pretty big stuff, in my opinion. First one. For the Survivor, he's going to be completely invisible beyond 24 meters. Did I say for the Wraith, he's going to be completely invisible beyond 24, somewhat invisible between 16 and 24, and unchanged within 16. So it kind of works like Freddy. Whenever he's beyond the 24 point, don't see him. Whenever he's within that, you'll see nothing, or you'll see a shimmer. It'll go in and out. And whenever he's within 16 meters, you'll just see that shimmer whenever he's cloaked. So I actually love that. I wish they would have made him a little faster whenever he's cloaked. But this is still a much needed step in the right direction. Definitely welcome. I don't think anyone has a problem with this. I just wish they would have done a little more, but that doesn't matter. Trapper escape mechanic. Basically, it's capped at 6 attempts. After that, you'll get out. But when you're struggling the first, second, and third time, it's going to be a lower chance to escape. At 4 attempts, it's going to go back to that 25%, and at 5 or 6, you're going to have a higher chance of escaping. So basically, it's going to kind of, instead of some people getting out on 1 attempt and some people getting out on like 12 attempts, it's going to cap it between 1 and 6, and it's going to make it more likely that they're probably going to get out between 4 and 5. The first 3 attempts are going to be more difficult to get out on, so that the trapper's not going to see a person trapped a little far away and be like, oh, I know I can't get to him. Or the situation I hate a lot of times is when a survivor gets down in a trap like 20 meters from me, and I walk over and they go, and they're out, and they go on with their day. So that's also a much needed addition. Deep wound adjustment, it's gone from 30 to 20 seconds. 20 seconds is still a fucking long time. I understand 20 seconds with the snapping out of madness thing, but I mean, 20 seconds you can cleanse a totem in that time and still have a few seconds to walk around. Diversion, aka the pebble. We believe that the world should have more pebbles. They're reducing the time taken to activate diversion. They don't say, but it's probably going to go from 45 to 30 or something. And simplifying its perk tiers to make it usable at lower levels. They're probably just gonna... I could see them making it 20 meters regardless, And then for reducing the time taken for diversion, maybe like 40, 30, 20 or something. I'm not entirely sure. They don't say the numbers, but that's a pretty good buff. Fixated, whenever you're injured, you'll still gain that speed buff, so another good thing. Hex Undying is a pretty... It's the definition of a good compromise. Basically, they list the problems right here and then how they're going to fix them. Anytime a Hex Totem is cleansed, it will replace the Hex Undying Totem, and it'll be deactivated, so you get 1 respawn. And also, Aura Reading only applies to Dull Totems instead of the Hex Totems, which those are pretty sizable nerfs. But any tokens you've already accumulated will now be kept when the Hex perk transfers. So if you're doing the Undying Ruin combo, that's going to be nerfed to hell, nerfed into the ground, basically. But if you want to use things like Hunter's Lullaby or especially Devour Hope, that's a significant buff to those. Especially with Devour Hope, where you get an extra chance if the totem is cleansed, and you still get to keep your tokens. So I would like to see how that plays out, because I could almost see that being overpowered with Devour Hope. But it's a lot. I think it's kind of better than having to cleanse Ruin 5 times. So yeah, Iron Maiden exposed status effect goes from 15 to 30. That's fine. I mean, it's still a little too short of an amount of time, but at least it gives you a little bit more, or doubles the amount of time for you to get to wherever you need to be and kill the person. Open-handed, instead of having to stack it and it being like an additional 2, 4, 6 meters or something, I may be wrong, it doesn't stack with other open-handed perks, and it increases from 8, 12 to 16. So it's another good update. You're not going to have several people running open-handed to get some use out of it. Only one person has to run it, and it doesn't stack, and it's pretty good. Second Wind, reducing the time it takes for Second Wind to heal you after being unhooked. I mean, it was like, 35 seconds or something? It was a little long, but I mean, yeah, still a welcome buff. I don't think it's going to change much. So that's the end of that. For all the perks and stuff, I think that was actually pretty damn well with all the perks. Well, I was going to give it 100, maybe 95. They could have done a little more, or other perks. So why are you not working? Okay. So that'd be an 88.6. So it's a pretty decent update. Definitely one of the better ones they've had in a long time. So I'm happy that they've actually taken a look at these. Yeah. So I was gonna look at what I had for those things too. For the Wraith, what the hell is it at? Okay, so I Wraith is completely invisible to all survivors from 24 meters away. Good. And they also added in the shimmering between 24 and 16, which is decent. I wish they would have moved his cloak speed up. I didn't even move it up that much. I moved it up like a little less than 10%. But I mean, Legion runs faster than him when he's in Frenzy, and Legion's pretty slow during his Frenzy. So I just wish they would have done a little more with that. I don't even think they touched his add-ons, which they probably should have, but it's whatever. For the traps, or for the trapper, they didn't increase his carrying capacity, which is pretty sad. This one probably isn't even a good one. I might delete that later because it's kind of weird. I don't know. Survivors who keep a bear trap who escape a bear trap by themselves are inflicted with deep wound. They just did something with deep wound, so that could have been a little addition they could have made. I increased the time it takes to skip bear traps 4 seconds, and I also with that, I was skipping their 5th attempt regardless, but I guess now it's 6th attempt. But with what they've done with making the first 3 harder to escape, and then the last 2 easier to escape, all this might be pretty null and void, so I'm pretty happy with that change, actually. Deep wound. 20 seconds is fine, I guess. I probably would have brought it down to 15 seconds, and if they're not being chased or in terror radius, then it goes down or something, because I just think it's kind of stupid you can sprint forever and not have it go down. And it's also kind of stupid that you can sit down and cleanse a totem. Like, let's say that NOED's happening, you've been hit with deep wound, and then you're sitting there cleansing a totem whenever you're bleeding out. I mean, that's kind of stupid, but at least they've done something with it, given that it's not that good. Pebble, I don't think I actually had anything to say about diversion. Oh, no, I did. Okay, that might be what they're doing as well, simplifying it at lower tiers to make it more useful, so it's 20 meters regardless. And this might also be what they're doing as well, dropping it down from 45, they're making it 45, 40, 35 probably. I could see that happening as well, so it's almost like they actually looked at my document. Fixated, I thought it was balanced. That's a good buff. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. As for Undying, I said it was balanced, but I mean, I can understand these changes. It also changes what it can work with, so that's all good and dandy. Iron Maiden, they literally did what I said, so good on you. I don't think I had anything to say about open-handed, because it's open-handed. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I like the change they made, though. Second Wind, I also don't think I said anything about. Yeah, that's fine. So that's it for this video. I am going to be live on Twitch. I'm starting up a new schedule. Part of that is actually, I got it right over here, so let me just grab it. This is my first YouTube video in a while, though, so bear with me, please. I'm still trying to figure some things out. I have no fucking idea where the hell. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put it on my Discord, which the link's in my Twitch. Yeah, in my Twitch About page at twitch.tv/giantsuite. So go check that out. Mondays are no stream. That's when I'm going to post videos usually, unless there's something urgent like this. Wednesdays through Friday, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday is going to extend to 2 a.m. Sundays is going to start a little late, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. And Tuesdays are 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. So if you want to catch me on my stream, head over there. And thanks for watching. I hope you like and subscribe. And check me out in the future, because I'm trying to be famous.